was amazingly by Rob Mercer, and in studio right now we have international recording artists. Everybody can't say that. See, we have international recording artists
across the water
and travel agent. We're going to talk about that. Rob Mercer. Rob, thanks for being on the show.
Good being here.
Tell us a little bit about your upbringing. How you started singing. You do play a little. Let's talk about that. How'd you get started?
I started at my dad's church. My dad was a pastor, and so I started there 4 or 5 years old, and I was part of the choirs. And then my dad, you know, as parents do, he elevated me. He saw the gift, and I was actually, as a young guy, I became like the musician for the youth choir at church, and so that's how I got involved in music. And just my parents, my dad and my mom just pushing me. So and with that in high school, and like a lot of us.
Right.
Yep, it was.
So were you singing in high school?
I was singing in high school.
School choir, anything?
School choir, director of the choir. I grew up in Jacksonville,
Florida.
So,
I remember.
So I was a part of the choirs. I was senior class president of the choir and student director, all of those things.
So how'd you get up here?
I came up here for school.
Okay.
I got accepted into the University of Maryland.
Okay.
So I came up here for grad school.
Okay.
And made connection with Carlton Burgess.
Right.
And and that's how my music, I guess, career started.
Singing in Complete Praise, huh?
Complete Praise, yes.
Yeah, well, I recorded two of his songs.
That's right.
That y'all used to do. Lift Up Your Heads, and I can't remember the other one, Saved My Life.
The Builders.
Yeah, Cornerstone.
Cornerstone.
Jesus is the Cornerstone. So when did you decide that, hey, God is leading me to do this solo career project thing?
It was probably just following and being a part of Carlton's ministry for all of those years and traveling with him all across the country. And Carlton was such an encourager and pusher, and allowed me to minister as with solos in front, and as a part of the group. And so being a part of that whole experience, and I began to write. I'm talking about Carlton a lot, but
it's all good.
I love his writing.
We love Carlton. Hey, Carlton, we love you, man.
And so just listening to his music and how he was writing, I began to write myself. And again, God gave me a collection of songs, and so then I decided to step out. I thought it was my season to step out and start recording.
Describe the style of Rob Mercer. What is your style? You've always been different to me, but I want to hear from you. What is your style?
I call myself a word psalmist.
Okay.
So whenever I write songs, or it's hard for me to sing a song that doesn't have like a clear message.
That's right.
Because I want a lot of people call me a preacher singer, because I want the audience to leave with something. So I feel like my song should also, just like a sermon, maybe not, of course not as many words, but people should be able to leave with a message like, hey, I got something out of that. And so that's how I try to frame all of my music ministry.
Right.
It's hard for me to just sing fluff.
Right.
I want it,
it's got to minister to you.
Yes.
And then you can minister to other people.
Right.
Are you still a minister of music?
I'm the praise and worship director at Antioch.
Right. With what's my man? His name slips my mind. Reverend Petty.
Yes.
Tyrone Petty. He's a good guy. Man.
He is. He really is.
He's a good guy. Yeah. You've been there a long time, haven't you?
Yes, I've been there 6 years now.
6 years.
Yep.
I thought you were there longer than that. Every time I walk over there, I see you over there. Talk about this whole travel agent thing. I mean, every time I look up, first of all, you're an outstanding role model because financially you've done well and you have documented how things have gone in your life, being able to pay off your house, right?
Yes.
I remember that from Facebook. So that's an outstanding accomplishment.
Man, that's a whole
for
nother
anybody.
show.
That's a whole nother show. But and that also has allowed you to do things like travel the world.
Right.
And now it's become a real passion of yours. So talk about what your future plans are.
It is. I'm working on attaining my official travel consultant license, and it's just a pleasure. It's not. I don't even feel like it's work. The classes and the courses, because that's a passion of mine, and So what I'm trying to build an experience for people, people who love to travel. I grew up watching. I got into traveling because I love tennis. Right. So I grew up watching tennis, and I would see them traveling all over the world. I'm like, oh man, God, I want to go to those places. And a simple prayer, watching a tennis tournament in Paris, and like, God, one day can I go to Paris?
Right.
And that fueled me to be able to do all the necessary steps so that I can travel. And so now I'm working on my license so I can build that experience for other people who want to travel and may not see, like, financially, how can I get it done? Just last year, I took a trip for 16 days, the whole entire trip, $1,300.
Wow.
To Vietnam and all these really far away places. 4 different countries for $1,300. So showing people how they can do that. That's a real passion of mine.
Yeah, we're gonna have to work something out, bro. Real quickly, talk about how you got hooked up with these folks in Australia and doing music and all that kind of thing.
My brother Antonio Neal, out of Nashville. He actually produced some of the songs on my last CD.
He produced God Alone, didn't he?
He produced God Alone. And I didn't even know he was doing this. He sent my music over to some of his connections in Australia.
Unbeknownst to you.
I did not know. They contacted me, hey, we want you to come over here and do some music with some of our artists. And I was fortunate enough to go over there, and God has really blessed that whole connection. I did a song with the winner of The Voice Australia, and the song went to number 2 on the charts over there, only second to Hillsong. So
wow.
Hey, you can't do any better than that.
No,
so,
you can't.
So that was, it's been a blessing, and I'm still working with them.
Okay. Wow. How is your mother doing in Jacksonville?
Oh, she's doing fine. My mom, she's the one that gave me the gene for traveling.
Okay.
My mom in retirement, she travels everywhere.
Right.
And so I got a little surprise for her later on this year.
That's all right. Yeah. Future plans musically? Any future things got going on?
The next thing is, well, I'm gonna be working with these guys with Music Society and 2DL, and also like I said, I'm going to be working with the company in Australia. We're going to release something within the next year.
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to tell you, first of all, thank you for being on the show. Of course, you're coming back with CD and Javon, who's coming up next, but I want to thank you for all the support that you have given artists in the DMV area. You support a lot of organizations too. I see you doing things that, the other folks just aren't doing, and I just want to thank you for just being that kind of a person. And God has elevated you because of it.
That's right.
The Bible says the humble shall be exalted.
That's
and
right.
Humility is really in the heart.
That's right.
You can act humble in front of other people, but it's what you do that makes the difference. So, I want to thank you so much, my friend.
Good being here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
For more information on how to become a guest on Real Talk with Phillip Carter, or for general inquiries, please email us at realtalkwithphillipcarter@yahoo.com. Tune in next Monday for another edition of Real Talk with Phillip Carter.